Ever thought I'm too old? I missed my moment. My best days are behind me. Ever watched someone younger and wondered, why not me, Lord? If that's you, keep listening. If it's not, keep living. Because one of history's greatest leaders didn't start his greatest assignment until he was 80, y'all. 80! Family, God's clock and our calendar don't always agree. Your age doesn't intimidate God. It never has, and it never will. Hey family, my name is Tony Lewis, and it's my plum-pleasing pleasure as usual to share with you today a few minutes for us. If these moments are encouraging you, please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment telling us I'm still available, because today's message is for everyone who thinks I've waited too long. Today's second half saint is Moses. Moses, 80 and just getting started. 80 and just getting started. Let me tell you his story. It's found in Exodus chapters 2 through 4. Moses was 80 years old when God called him from a burning bush. Not 18, not 28, not 38, but at 80, y'all, Moses had already lived a full life. 40 years a prince in Egypt, 40 years a shepherd in the wilderness. But now, most would have said his story was over. Who am I talking to? You've ever thought it was over? Have you ever thought it was over? But then a bush caught fire. It burned, but it wasn't consumed. God called his name, Moses. Moses. And Moses answered, here am I. Family, God wasn't calling a young prince. He was calling an old shepherd. Lord have mercy. The man who once trusted his strength had finally learned to trust God's strength. Family, sometimes God lets us grow older because wisdom takes time. Let me say that again. God lets us grow older because wisdom takes time. Let me tell you how Moses struggled. Moses struggled with fear, self-doubt, past failure. Who am I talking to? Feeling unqualified, making excuses, looking at his limitations instead of God's power. You ever been there? He even said, I can't even talk right. I can relate to that, y'all. But God said, I'll be with you. Ain't he good, y'all? Ain't he good? But how did Moses succeed? Family, Moses didn't succeed because he was the smartest man. He didn't succeed because he was the strongest man. He didn't succeed because he had the most confidence. Moses succeeded because he surrendered to God's call. He stayed dependent on God's presence. He led with humility. He pressed through problems. He finished faithfully. But what is the lesson? What is the lesson? God is not looking for the youngest person. He's looking for the yielded person. God is not looking for the youngest person. He's looking for the yielded person. When you struggle like Moses, when you believe and start broadcasting, I'm too old, I'm too broke down, I waited too long, I'm not gifted enough. Family. Those aren't God's words. Those are your fears talking. God never asked, how old are you? He asked, will you trust me? Will you trust me? When you succeed like Moses, and I succeed like Moses, when you stop making excuses and start making yourself available, when you stop focusing on your weakness and start trusting God's strength, when you stop asking, why me? And begin saying, send me, age becomes an advantage because you've learned to trust God more than yourself. God doesn't retire his servants. He simply gives them a new assignment. Family, never let your birthday talk you out of your blessing. Who am I talking to? If you're breathing, God may still be building. Maybe you're thinking, I should have done more by now. I've wasted too many years. I've made too many mistakes. Family, hear me now. God doesn't measure our usefulness by our age. He measures it by our availability. Your greatest chapter may not be behind you. It may be waiting for your obedience. Family, don't count yourself out because God hasn't counted you out. If God could start with Moses at 80, he can start with you today. Remember the lesson. God is not looking for the youngest person. He's looking for the yielded person. See you next week for the next few minutes for us. For the third episode. And it's not how you start, it's how you finish. In this series, Secondhand Half Saints. To God be the glory. I'm out, y'all.